A pay-per-view that is remembered for one thing, and one thing only, is it not? And that, friends, is the debut of Mordecai. Fucking yes! Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this, another episode of 10 years ago. It's your favourite series, and it's mine. It's May 2004. So of course, we turn our attention to SmackDown's Judgment Day 2004 pay-per-view. We're live at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. It's home to a billion pay-per-views. The last, 4-5 SummerSlams. There are 18,722 fans on hand for SmackDown's second pay-per-view of the year. Of course, No Way Out was its first. On Sunday Night Heat, I'll have to do the inverted comment thing here. The Reflection of Perfection, Mark Jindrak defeated Funaki after the Mark of Excellence side slam. Hoorah. A lot to talk about on this one. We're going to do matches instead of just telling you all at the start. So, opening contest is RVD and Rey Mysterio defeating the Dudley Boyz in the match of the night. Oh yeah, it's one of those shows. Oh yeah. The Dudleys turned heel after the draft, which of course is good because they need to do something because they were as stale can get. When he comes out, Bubba says that he doesn't like Taz, so therefore he must be a heel. Oh! Devon beat WWE Champion Eddie Guerrero on SmackDown recently, yeah? It was a non-title match, but it still counts, damn it. Oh, and JBL interfered, if you're wondering. While Cole and Taz are marking out for the faces, they failed to mention as to why this match is taking place. So let's just say that it is, and then we'll just move on, shall we? The match is very back and forth in the early going. Van Dam gets a lovely somersault tope, followed by Rey hitting a tope of his own, and then RVD is your stoner in peril, like that one, but keeps getting offense, if that makes sense. So he's getting the shit kicked out of him, but at the same time, he's also getting a decent amount of offense in, so it's a very strange one, that is. Hot tag Rey, who gets 2 off a nice springboard crossbody, but the 619 is countered. Rey then plays your masked man in peril, taking a beating, while Dudley's utilise quick tags. Crowd are into it, and it's not bad at all. Just nothing really stands out as memorable other than a hot tag to RVD. But referee doesn't see it, so Rey eats a main event spinebuster, which gets 2 for Bubba. Rey gets a cutter and a moonsault for 2, and then there's a hot tag to RVD, who cleans house, hits a rolling thunder, yada yada yada. The Dudleys get rid of Rey by launching him over the ropes. When he comes back to push Devon off the top. Now, the Dudleys get rid of Rey by launching him over the outside. Then Devon goes up top to do the weather drop, even though the heels now. Rey comes back in and pushes him off the top. That makes perfect sense. He follows with a Bronco Buster and a great looking spot where Rob Van Dam sort of alley-oop onto Rey, onto Bubba, who's on the top rope, and does a Hurricane Rana out of that. That's really nice. Gets a big pop, and it also gets a near fall. Dudley goes for the 3D, but RVD counters it. We get a double 619 and a massive pop. And the Fox 5-star. God, I can't talk already in this one. We're 2 minutes into the video already. I'm talking shite. 5-star Frog Splash gets the win and gets the big pop. Good match, solid match. Nothing special, nothing memorable, nothing that makes you go, oh yeah, I remember that match. No, there's nothing. It's a 2.5 if you're very, very nice kind of a match. It went 15 minutes as well. In the back, very young, looking Josh Matthews talks to Booker T. After tonight, Booker says, we all know that he is the biggest star on SmackDown. Which is lovely. Some guy wheels Kurt Angle to the ring. It's Luther Reigns. Who the fuck is Luther Reigns? He had recently made his debut, and he is another massive guy who can't wrestle. To add to the list of massive guys who can't wrestle, see Matt Morgan and Nathan Jones amongst others. There's many more to come, such as Heidenreich, for example. He's coming on down the line. So look, Luther Reigns. He wheels Kurt Angle to the ring in a wheelchair. Why is Kurt Angle in a wheelchair, I hear you ask? Well, Kurt was made SmackDown General Manager after Paul Heyman had quit at the draft. On an episode of SmackDown, Big Show turned a car over because he could. He then went backstage where he found Torrie Wilson, who was about to leave in her rental car, and he turned that over as well. He then chased Torrie Wilson through the building, and eventually Kurt Angle saw them, said, "Look, stop it, calm down, I'll come up to you, we'll sort it out." And Kurt was chokeslammed off a ledge by the Big Show. At least a 10-foot drop, maybe bigger. And Kurt, it was funny because he was sort of lying at a comedy angle and there was blood coming out of his head. And it was, this shit wouldn't happen on Raw because they wouldn't be able to do it on Raw. It's gripping stuff. It really is. Show comes out in a little tent. So basically Luther's pushing this big ass tent and then Kurt sort of pops out at the top of it. It's a nice little visual. He has a massive cast on his leg, right? But the cast is over his trousers. And I don't know how that works. I'm no doctor, obviously. But I don't think that's quite right. He rips on LA and then calls out Torrie Wilson. And this is all her fault. He blames her, for his loss of career. Tonight, she's going to face Dawn Marie. And her career, Torrie's, is on the line. Awesome balls. Let's get on to it. So, Torrie Wilson defeating Dawn Marie in a shit match to save her career. Now, they say that there's some story, so there's some background here. There is some storyline back here, right? So what we've got is that Cole says that Dawn Marie is jealous of Torrie Wilson's success, okay? Now, if that's the storyline that you're going with here, I must be missing something. Can't we have Torrie Wilson still, Dawn Marie is still, can we do Dawn Marie's jealous, but at the same time, how does Torrie Wilson is still pissed off with her stepmom for fucking her dad to death? That won't work. Works for me. Yeah, if you're under 15, maybe you might enjoy this one, as Torrie rips Dawn's pants off. And she's wearing a flesh-coloured thong, but it's a very, very, very wee one. So it's like a dental floss sort of thong. And it means that it looks like she's got a bare arse out. And if, like I say, you're under the age of 15, I'm sure that's magical for you. But other than that, this is shit. Utter shit. In the back, I'm not even going to tell you who wins because I haven't written it down. JBL cuts a promo about good Mexicans and bad Mexicans. The good ones are the ones who shine his shoes. The bad ones are like Eddie. They lie, cheat, and steal. And that's not his America. And that he will be victorious. Lovely. Anyway, here we are. We've arrived at the part of the show that I know that you've been all looking forward to as Mordecai defeats Scotty to Hotty. Fucking yes, it's Mordecai, it says at the top of my thing in capitals. Think of The Undertaker and think of everything that is dark about The Undertaker and reverse it so that it is white. And you have Mordecai. He's a foot shorter and not as muscly, but we'll skip by that one. He's white down to the eyebrows. He's played by Kevin Forte, who you know as Kevin Thorne. Apparently, this guy's a massive dick. According to some of the British guys that I've spoken to, he wants to cleanse the world of sin. I suppose that's rare enough, which is good of him. Holy shit, though, right? One thing, in all of that, I'm joking. You know I'm joking, don't you? But one thing that stands out about this guy more than anything else was I'd forgotten how fucking good this guy's music is. It's fucking brilliant. Genuinely brilliant. I think I'm not alone when I say that when I saw this character, I just thought, needs to face Taker. And not even 10 years ago before this, in 1994, Mordecai would have at least been given a 6-month run in preparation so that he faces Undertaker down the line. Yeah, that didn't really happen here because WWE has no patience at all. If you're wondering, Scotty to Hotty lost the tag belts along with Rikishi to Charlie Haas and Rico on the 22nd of April edition of SmackDown. We'll talk about that more in a second. Scotty gets owned. I mean, completely owned, until he can catch Mordecai with a super kick. He goes to the worm, the big guy counters, hits a lariat, hits a razor's edge for the win. Match was a squash, did what it needed to. That was that song. In the back, the evil Guerrero. We will talk about Mordecai more. There's at least one more episode that's got him on, but we're not going to enjoy him while you can, is what I'd say if you're watching these ones back. Which a lot of people do, believe it or not. I get a lot of messages saying that they will watch the pay-per-view that I'm reviewing and then watch my review, which is incredible. I like that. In the back, the Evil Guerreros are getting ready when Cruiserweight Champion Jacqueline brings Chavo a present to wear to the ring tonight. And it's bra and panties. And Jackie says, seeing as Chavo is going to lose to a girl again, then he should dress like a girl. Hilarious. Great stuff. Actually, though, to be fair, this is funny. This is a funny segment. And it's nothing to do with Chavo, and it's nothing to do with Jacqueline. No. It's all on Chavo Sr., who's at the back trying on the bra and panties. That's hilarious. Charlie, Haas and Rico defeating Billy Gunn and Hardcore Holly in a awful match to retain the tag team titles. They will surely mention Billy and Chuck, won't they? I've got written on my notes. Surely they will mention the fact that Billy and Chuck tagged together, Rico was their stylist, they won the tag belts. Anything? As mentioned, Rico and Charlie won the tag belts back on the 22nd of April SmackDown. They don't say how Gunn and Holly become the #1 contenders, so once again we'll just say because they did. Speaking of Rico and Haas, I can't really remember why they are tagging together other than Shelton fucked off because of the draft. I mean, that it can't be. Is it as simple as, oh, I've got no tag partner anymore, I need a new one? We all do. Or is it, I need another tag team partner? Oh, no one wants to. Rico's come over and go, I'll do it! Like, yeah, right, well, that'll work. Anyway, Rico has Jackie Gator with him, and she is now Miss Jackie, so they're going down the Adrian Street Miss Linda route. If you're looking at me now, look, saying, who the fuck is Adrian Street? Don't, just stop the video, go and find some stuff about Adrian Street. Amazing wrestler, absolutely fantastic. The pair of them have this, because Rico's overly camp, like ridiculously camp. They have this little ring, they have this little ramp, is what I was going to say, catwalk type thing that they walk across when they're making their way to the ring, and straight wrestler Haas won't do it, and you've got Taz and fucking Cole and Charlie, trying to get him to walk up the ramp, and he won't, and it's one of those things. Basically, the story of this match is nice and simple, and it is that Gunn and Holly won't be in the ring with Rico. How's that sound? Homophobia is hilarious, isn't it? And I can't think why this is meant to be good. I can't think why this is one of those matches where I'm meant to cheer for someone I don't know who. You know, I just don't know. I just don't know what I'm meant to do, because as someone who has no problem with gay people at all, it just makes me go. I look at Hardcore Holly and Billy Gunn and think, you're fucking pathetic. You know, like for example, Hardcore Holly won't tag in because Rico's in the ring. If Charlie Haas is in the ring, happy days, yeah, I'll get in and wrestle a real man's man. But because he's a bit camp, Hardcore Holly, the big man, doesn't want anything to do with it. And you say, like I say, as a fan, maybe it's the time difference, maybe it's because of my age, maybe, I don't know. But I just look at it going, who am I meant to cheer? Who do you want me to cheer for here? You know, yeah. I mean, there's things like Rico breaks a headlock by grabbing Gunn's ass, and Gunn sells it like grim death. And you're just like, really, Billy Gunn? Remember what you were doing a couple of... No, fuck it. You know, let's go to the end, shall we? The crowd are really into it. They think that all of this sort of stuff is hilarious. Really funny. Gunn connects with a famous on Rico, but he hadn't noticed that Rico had tagged out to Haas. Haas comes in, hits a sweet German suplex on Gunn. Holly goes to the Alabama Slam on Haas, but Rico hits a super kick, allowing Haas to get a roll-up for the win. Mildly entertaining. Maybe it's because I'm older and have absolutely zero problem with gay people, so I actually kind of dig the Rico character, while Holly and Gunn's reactions just make me roll my eyes and make me want to skip the match. That's what I've put. That's how I feel. How's that sound? Random thought, but that's two matches that they've had on this pay-per-view where they have completely ignored old storylines. Anyone want to hazard a guess to why that is? In the back, Paul Bearer and Undertaker cut a promo. Well, Paul cuts the promo, Undertaker just says 3 words. Can you guess what they are? Yep, those 3. Chavo Guerrero defeating Jacqueline in a terrible match to win the Cruiserweight Champion. So Chavo he beat Rey Mysterio at No Way Out to win the Cruiserweight Championship, and to solidify just how good he is, at WrestleMania he defeated loads of people in a gauntlet match sort of thing, didn't he? And then he loses the belt in an open challenge, which was answered by Jacqueline. Yep. Why the fuck not? People say to me, Mick, they should bring the Cruiserweight title back. And it's like, no, because they do shit like this with it, because they don't give a fuck. You know? Oh, and to make it that little bit better, Chavo does get his rematch, of course. The automatic rematch clause, that's just not enough. He has got one of his arms tied behind his back. This match, right, let me tell you, Chavo Sr. getting knocked off the apron gets the only pop of the match, right? I promise you, that's the only one. Jackie goes low while the referee's back is turned, right? And then right, Cole goes absolutely tech when Chavo Sr. undoes the rope with his arm behind his son's back. So you sat there going, Cole, isn't that a bit of double standard? Because Chavo cheating, that's really bad. Jackie going low, which is cheating, is completely fine. Anyway, Chavo Sr. distracts the referee. Now, Chavo Jr. can do any... Oh, it's Chavo Classic, isn't he? I've just remembered that. Fuck it, I've got Senior written on my notes all over the shop, so we'll go with that. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that Chavo Jr. can do anything he wants, can't he? Any move in wrestling he can do, because the referee's not going to see it. So what do you think he does? Yeah, you see, you guys know. Does a fucking snake eyes on the ropes. You're well odd. Anyway, and then he hits a gory bomb for the win. Awful stuff. Awful. Oh dear God, it's awful. And speaking of awful, John Cena defeating Rene Dupree in a match to retain the United States Championship. Now my expectations are low for this one going in. Fresh off his draft to SmackDown, Rene Dupree is now running down America because he's French and because he can. How's that one sound? That's his sole reasoning for it, I think. Oh, it's easy storyline, I suppose, isn't it? As a Brit who has about as much love for the French as I do for Americans, I truly don't give a shit because, you know, I just don't care enough. But you can imagine how the fans feel about this. Oh, dissing America, boo! I don't like you because you're dissing America, you know, and all that. Angles like this I've always found very, very strange because America bills itself as the land of the free and you're allowed to say whatever you want as long as it's not dissing America, you know? Because it's just weird. Anyway, Rene now has a poodle called Fifi. He has a talk show called, I think it was Cafe Paris. And he had Torrie Wilson on this and he wanted to talk to her and he started ripping her and then it got physical, so John Cena came to make the save and that's nice, and John Cena was powerbombed to the announce table, which is lovely. Yeah, that's it really. Blah. John Cena comes charging in, and he touches one of his raps, and then the match starts, and back and forth. And John Cena comes sailing, he comes charging at Rene, who's sort of playing possum on the apron, and it looks like he's on the apron, and John Cena, it looks like he wants to do a cross-body onto the top half of Rene, so they go over the top. Rene moves out of the way, so John Cena just sort of sails over the top rope, and he gets such a big reaction, it's fantastic. Cena is American, so naturally he's mega over. Dupree gets two off a really nice backbreaker and locks on a bear hug. Cena comes back with a nice clothesline and a sweet looking sidewalk slam, but then the 5-knuckle shuffle misses, allowing Rene to hit a sweet powerbomb and do his fucking dance, and that gets a big pop. The most over part about you, Rene, is your dance. It's the most over thing you'll ever do in your career. In fact, he did it 2 years ago at PCW when I saw him. And it still got a reaction then. How does that make you feel, Rene? The most over part thing you've ever done is to do... Oh, do you want me to... No, I'm not doing it. I can't dance the same life. I'm not doing fucking Rene Dupree's dance, is it? Cena comes off the top, but in a great looking spot, and it was. Cena jumps off the top, and Rene sort of kicks him in the stomach as he comes down, and then transitions it in one motion into a perfect DDT. Really, really nice. They trade counters until Rene counters the FU into a nice net breaker for 2. Another powerbomb gets 2, as does some pin attempts for Cena, but it's the FU that gets the obviously popular win for Cena. Not as bad as I was expecting. The crowd were mega hot. I want to go 1.5. You may look down below. It might even be 2 because I might be feeling in a good mood. A video package airs for some guy whose deal is that he shouts angrily in Japanese. So his gimmick must be shouty, angry Japanese guy. It's Kenzo Suzuki. Now, this video package does not do anything that makes me think, God, I cannot wait to see that guy. I can't wait to see shouty, angry Japanese bloke. Next, 2 to go. And The Undertaker defeating Booker T in a match. Oh dear. Taker returned to the dead man persona at WrestleMania. As we know, Booker was transferred in the draft. And he made it crystal clear straight away that he came out and called promo where he was turning heel saying, I was a star on Raw, and now I'm a mega star on SmackDown. How was that song? He ran down all the talent, including The Undertaker, and then The Undertaker came out, so Booker T ran away like a good heel should. And he went to see a voodoo priestess, who said to him, to defeat The Undertaker, you need some dirt. You need some dirt from a grave with no name on it. And you sat there, I don't know if it's just me, but my first thought was fucking Pirates of the Caribbean with fucking Jack Sparrow. It's, I've got a jar of dirt, I've got a jar of dirt. You sat at Booker T with a bag of dirt, like, oh, that's nice. Oh, and right, first things first, how will some dirt help you defeat the dead man? Not entirely sure about that one. Secondly, the build-up package ends with Cole shrieking, at Judgment Day, the dead will indeed rise again. And you're like, no, he won't. No, they really won't at all. Anyway, match is all taken until the referee is bumped, allowing Booker to grab his dirt and throw it in Taker's face. Cole says it smells nasty. It's fucking soil. What does it smell of? Oh, you're a weird person. Taker no sells the dirt, of course, but then he goes for a big boot in the corner. Booker moves, and so Booker, quite rightly, goes to work on the leg. And he wraps it around the ring post and all that, and guess what Taker does? Yeah, fucking nothing at all. He completely shrugs it off. Scissor kick gets 2. Taker sits up, hits the big boot with the injured leg, because fuck storytelling. Then hits a chokeslam, hits a tombstone, gets the win. Match was rubbish. It's good to see that Booker's newfound voodoo powers do nothing at all. That's fantastic. Taker no sells the leg, which of course takes out the only story element that they had in this match. Fucking stupid. 1 star because I'm nice. And then in the main event, and this is what we all came to see really, didn't we? JBL defeating Eddie Guerrero in a main event. JBL. Who the fuck is JBL, Mark? Because of course, if you're watching this, the last time we talked about this character was Bradshaw at WrestleMania, and he did nothing of note. So, having been back for about a year and done nothing memorable in that time, the APA lost a You're Fired match to Scotty and Rikishi. Farouk was the man who was pinned. Farouk was the one who was fired. The next day, this taping was on this Tuesday, yeah? The next day, the Wednesday, Farouk, Ron Simmons, the guy behind the character, was legitimately fired. That's an interesting one, isn't it? Bradshaw morphed into a J.R. Ewing from Dallas-style character, coming out in a massive limo, complete with horns and wearing a suit. He's been successful at everything he's done. He said this in a promo. I've been successful at everything I've done except wrestling. It's like, yep, that's very true. He says he felt that having a good time was more important than winning matches. His first promo was on the Mexican/American border, where he tried to stop some illegal immigrants to try impress new SmackDown manager Kurt Angle, because he was doing this Great American Award thing at the time. He's guy doing this. He impressed Kurt enough to make him the winner of the Great American Award, and of course that made him #1 contender. Now, of course, the Great American Award was a fuck-off big trophy, and Wrestling 101 decrees that you see a trophy, it falls onto the birthday cake rule, it will get smashed. And Eddie, like a good babyface, came out and trashed the trophy, which is all good, but that pissed off JBL and he did something real bad. On a house show, which they decided to tape for some reason, they had all the Guerrero family in the ring, and JBL came out and he threatened Mrs. Guerrero, Eddie's mum, and she had a mild, that's what they call it, a mild heart attack. And you sat there going, damn, that's awful. Don't like that at all. Really don't like that. Oh yeah, you're for it now. The terrifying thought that this idiot will become champion was one that you just went, no, not in the slightest. Eddie Guerrero is our hero. Eddie Guerrero outsmarted Kurt Angle at WrestleMania. There is no way they will put the belt on this idiot. Is there? JBL comes out, cuts a cheap heat getting promo before the bell, including asking Eddie when he comes out, "How's your mum?" They go outside immediately. Eddie bouncing JBL off the ring post and the Spanish announce table, then choking him with a cable. JBL tries to bail, which Eddie has none of. Back inside, Eddie stomps on the face and chucks Bradshaw to the outside, where he attempts to whip into the steps. Bradshaw counters and takes control with chops and a big boot in the ring. He puts on a chin lock because he's a heel and because he's evil, and that's what heels do. You can't be a heel if you don't put chin locks. I didn't mention it, Booker T did one in the last match, for example. Follows with a shoulder tackle, snapmare, then another chin lock. Eddie escapes, and incidentally, I don't know why he does the chin lock. I mean, he's going to work down the head. Clothesline from hell is going to hit here, isn't it? It's going to really connect on the chest. Doesn't work the head, so don't know. Just no idea. Eddie escapes, hits a pair of arm drags, and knocks Bradshaw to the outside. Eddie then tries a springboard splash onto JBL, but JBL, in a great spot, admittedly, catches him, turns it into a fall-away slam on the outside. That's all kind of good. Eddie recovers enough to attack, lays in some punches. When he charges at JBL, his big back body drops by JBL, which sends him soaring into the air, and he comes down on the Spanish announce table. Not through, no. Bounces off it, and you're just like, is that meant to break? Sort of thing, Oh, shit. In the ring, Bradshaw with a bear hug of death. Eddie escapes and hits a nice dropkick, and the two of the three amigos. The clothesline from hell misses, so he goes for a powerbomb that Eddie counters, and the referee is bumped on the outside, and you know what's coming here. This moment in wrestling history has taken on almost a mythical status, because JBL hits one of the sickest, most evil-sounding, unprotected chair shots you'll ever hear, and Eddie does what can only be described as, in massive capitals, a fucking manly blade job. And this isn't just a, this is a, my God, did you hit a fucking artery or a vein or something? When he goes down in a heap, and when the camera pans back around, he sort of staggers around, and you can see blood is fountaining out of his forehead. His whole chest, his whole upper torso has got fountains of blood running down it. His whole body becomes red in no time. Round the outside of the ring, just turns thingy. All round the outside. JBL beats him round the outside, and everywhere Eddie stops, underneath him there is a pool of blood. And it's just awful. The ring steps, the ring, the referee, JBL, everything. Everything is covered in blood. In the ring, Bradshaw tries to open the cut-up more, then hits the clothesline from round. There's no referee, so a new one comes out, and it only gets two. There's a puddle, I swear it, a puddle of blood. Next to Eddie's head. There's a JBL wants the second clothesline fell, and it hits the second referee. Powerbomb by Bradshaw, and the original referee counts, but that only gets two as well. The crowd seems to come alive with a massive Eddie chant, and guys, the blood. This is the thing, right? My missus is sat in the living room. I've got this on the telly, and I've got it on the surround sound, so obviously it's quite distracting. But she's just sat reading a magazine, and I noticed that the magazine is open, and her eyes are on the screen. And it's one of those things, so it must be doing something right, because if someone who's not interested in wrestling is caught up in the drama of this, but it's the realisation that no, it's not the drama at all that's going around, it's the fact that Eddie looks like he is actually bleeding to death. Because the amount of blood that he's lost is just, it's frightening, and it's, maybe it's because it's 10 years removed, maybe it's how I feel about Eddie Guerrero, maybe it's how I feel about blood in wrestling and unprotected chair shots these days, but it's not nice to watch, this isn't. It's not pleasant. Sleeper by Bradshaw is counted into a back suplex, and Eddie starts to feel it. Latino heat time as he unloads with punches, but then gets caught and prepped for another fall-away slam. But this is so good. Bradshaw's get him and chucks him up like that, and Eddie in midair spins round into a tornado DT. Oh, mate, it is pretty. It's probably my favourite spot of this entire show. It's so good. Eddie goes up top. Frog splash misses. JBL gets a chair to distract the referee because what he really does, he actually picks up the chair and the championship belt and sort of puts the belt behind him, comes into the ring with the chair, and the referee takes the chair off him, which means he's got the belt. Right, watch this. Eddie does the right thing, kicks him in the bollocks because the fucking referee's back's turned, but then the referee turns around as Eddie gets the belt, clocks Bradshaw in the face with it, and of course Eddie, because of that, is disqualified. The fans are not impressed with that one bit. Not impressed at all. And I've lost my place. Shit. Eddie unloads with punches and then clocks Bradshaw with the belt, busting him open, and then hitting him in full force in the face with a chair. And then he does it again, and then he does a frog splash. JBL, at this point, as you can probably imagine, tries to leave. Eddie isn't done. He charges off up the entrance ramp and wants some more. And it takes 4 men to pull Eddie off. Who are these 4 men? Well, they're quite easy to point out. They are Fit Finlay, Arn Anderson, Dean Malenko, and Skinner, which is hilarious. The match is hard to rate because, well, it's not actually that good, is what I'll say. The crowd really help because they're really obviously into Eddie. But the only things that stand out in this match, if you look at it objectively, are the blade job and that lovely tornado DT. Alright, that is it. It's an alright hardcore match. And that's probably the best I can give. It's taken on this mythical status that it is the greatest match. And it's just one of those, when you think about it, you think of Eddie bleeding, and that's it. That, friends, is not a very good match. That's just one little thing that happened in the match. Let me tell you something. This pay-per-view is garbage. A straight-up garbage show. The opener is alright. It's alright, but it's not worth going out of your way to find it. It's not one of those, oh, no, that was a good tag team match. It was just an alright match. The rest of the show is shit. I would thoroughly and highly and strongly recommend avoid this show. Seriously, only go and watch it if you really like seeing blade jobs and just want to see what a proverbial crimson mask is. You know, that, if you like that sort of thing, and you know, go and see it. But other than that, this pay-per-view is highly recommended to avoid at all costs. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, what did you think of this pay-per-view? You may have loved it. I'd love to know down below. Please leave me a comment. I do read them all, even if I don't reply to them all. What's next? This one. Is it Vengeance? I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been Mark P. Thank you so very much for watching. Please leave me a like. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. This has been 10 years ago. I've been Mark P. Take it easy and see you all very soon.